everyone. I am on assignment right now, and I can't necessarily say where, but just know I'm coming back with some great content, all right? But I got the opportunity to speak with a lawyer who is representing Lizzo's accusers, and you already know I asked all the questions that you really want to know. Check it out. Okay, so now Nima, you are a very accomplished lawyer. I read all about you. I'm curious, what made you take this case?
We took this case because it was a righteous case. It was referred by another lawyer who contacted us because they knew that going up against Lizzo would be no easy task and that she would probably come out and deny the allegations. So the plaintiffs, our clients, wanted lawyers who could not only handle a difficult and challenging employment case, but handle the media attention that was going to come along with it.
And there's been a lot of media attention, all right? So before we really get into it, can you please state what are your clients accusing Lizzo of?
There's a few broad categories of allegations. The worst seem to be the sexual harassment allegations, creating a sexually charged and toxic work environment. But there's also discrimination allegations related to race discrimination, disability discrimination, and religious discrimination.
Okay. So, as I have read more about this case and I did more research on Lizzo, I have to be honest and say that some of these claims can be read in two completely different tones. So, I'm hoping you can provide more context. For example, with the weight gain, is it like, girl, you know they would normally fire you if you gain weight? Or is it like you're gaining weight and on the brink of being fired in a dark tone? Because on paper, it's easy to read everything one way, in either the best tone or the worst tone. Please clarify.
Well, LaPorsche, the Lizzo and her manager weren't explicit enough or stupid enough to say, hey, you're fat, you're getting fired. But they asked one of the plaintiffs, Ariana Davis, hey, is everything okay? You know, ever since South by Southwest, things have been really different with you. And of course, that difference being the weight gain. So Ariana confided in them that she's suffering from mental health issues, anxiety, depression, and an eating disorder. And then she was fired 2 weeks later.
Okay, now Nima, I'm a real journalist. A lot of people across Hollywood, such as Jason Lee, who believe that your clients are really attempting to extort Lizzo. What do you have to say back to that? I know you've seen this online.
Oh, of course. And look, I don't care who you are, what type of civil or criminal defendant. People deny these allegations all the time. And people like to support celebrities. They don't want to think that they can do anything wrong. But when people are coming out of the woodwork every single day, former employees, former dancers, people that have worked with Lizzo, and they're corroborating our allegations, I think those are the people that you should be listening to, not people in Hollywood who are supporting their fellow entertainers.
All right, so who is more accountable in this situation, Lizzo or her dance captain?
Well, both, right? Lizzo ultimately is the one in charge. She's the one that hired Quigley, allowed her to discriminate against my clients, and she was actually present when a lot of this harassing behavior occurred. So they're both responsible. But ultimately, the buck does stop with Lizzo. She's the one in charge.
Well, I think you may have answered my next question. So are we really focusing more on Lizzo because she is the bigger name here?
Well, yeah, she's the boss, right? She's the one who hired Quigley. She's the one that could have fired her, disciplined her, taken corrective action, right? And she was the one that was leading a lot of this. And ultimately, right, she's the one who is allowing this type of unlawful, illegal, toxic behavior to exist in her camp and on tour.
All right, so your clients are saying that if they weren't seen as fun, then they would not be seen in good favor. All right, I've watched them say that just off the basis of human nature. We do navigate to people that we enjoy. So do you believe it is somewhat reasonable to want to be around people in a work environment that you have fun with? Or do you see opportunities for extreme imbalance there, given that this is the entertainment industry is really tricky? So I really want to know what you have to say.
Well, this is where the law and, non-work environments, I mean, this is where they diverge, right? I could ask you out on a date and that's not a problem. But if you're my employee, me asking you out a date is a problem, because guess what? You're in a position where you can't say no. That's why certain things are unlawful in a work environment. So there's two types of harassment. There's the sort of what we call quid pro quo. You harass someone. If they don't comply, then you retaliate against them, you fire them. There's some adverse employment action. But there's a whole other kind of harassment where folks that are participating in sexual activities, those are favored, those individuals, and those who don't are disfavored. That's how you create a hostile work environment, one that's sexually charged.
All right, Nima, the banana situation. Okay, you knew we were going to touch on this. It is widely known that this happens at the Banana Bar, I believe it's called, and club in the red light district. What are your clients saying about that experience?
Again, our clients are saying they're in a position where they can't say no. Their boss is asking them to go to a sex show, right? There's dildos in vaginas. There's bananas in vaginas. There's a security guard who's naked and getting whipped. This is totally inappropriate workplace behavior. And when your boss asks you to do it, you can't say no. You're in a position where you can't say no. That's why this is unlawful. This isn't you're going out with some friends. This is your boss asking you, and you're put in a very uncomfortable position.
Now, mixing culture and hip hop, we know that we see a lot of people in the industry go to strip clubs together. I'm personally from Atlanta, so strip clubs it's a way of life, Nima. It's a way of life out there. Everybody go out there and get their wings. Would you advise, as a lawyer, that no matter the industry, you never enter spaces like that with your employees or staff? I'm curious.
You don't, because again, it's not appropriate workplace behavior. And you see Lizzo's statement where she says she's open sexually. Well, you can be open sexually in your personal life, but you don't ask your employees about their virginity. You don't talk about masturbation. You don't talk about oral sex. You don't take them to strip clubs. You don't eat those bananas. You just don't do it. This type of behavior, it's unlawful. Again, there's a lot of things that might be okay in one's personal life, but it's completely unprofessional and it's unlawful in the workspace.
So, do your clients believe that Lizzo saw her team as extended family and friends?
I don't know what she was thinking. I can't get inside Lizzo's head, but I can say that, she did engage in unlawful activity, regardless of why she thought it was okay. I don't know. We'll have to hear from her when she takes the stand at trial.
Do you believe that Lizzo moved maliciously and understood her position of power here? Essentially, are your clients saying that Lizzo was a mean girl, or is she a bad boss in their opinion?
Well, I think Lizzo is both mean and bad. I think at trial, we're going to have witnesses that are going to come out and say that they were fired. I think one person may say that she was in the hospital when she was fired. I mean, here's someone that was used to getting her way. She was used to being in charge and pushing people around, people under her. And it's not right to treat anyone like this, especially your employees.
Everything that your clients are saying is so dramatically different from her onstage persona. I mean, we've seen all different types of things in the entertainment industry. What is your reaction to Lizzo's statement that she recently put out?
I'm not surprised. I've litigated against Marty Singer. He represents a lot of entertainers that are accused of this type of activity. I've litigated with him in the past. We have other cases with him. So people deny allegations when they're accused, and people are very different behind closed doors than they are in public. Listen, sexual harassers it's not just limited to rich old white men. It can be females too. It can be women of color. Anyone can be a harasser. And our clients, let's not forget, are also women of color. They're plus size women of color. They don't have a whole lot of opportunities in Hollywood, right, to act, because most of the time they're looking for a different type of woman to be a dancer. So now they're in a position where they really have their dream job with someone like Lizzo, and she's taking advantage of them because they don't have a whole lot of opportunities if they want to be singers or dancers in Hollywood.
Okay, people across social media are wanting to know, do y'all plan to, are y'all looking to settle outside of court?
I'm planning to take the case to trial. So when we filed the case, I thought it's going to go in one of two directions, right? Lizzo was going to come out, apologize, try to make things right. And then, of course, we're reasonable people. We would have resolved the case. But now that she's denying the allegations and, her lawyer, they're coming out swinging, we would love nothing more than to expose Lizzo and her lies in a court of law. We have the witnesses. Our clients are likable. They are believable. So let's put 12 in a box and get ready for trial.
Nima, I cannot wait to speak with you more as this continues to happen, okay? And as we continue to learn more about this, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.